Hello, you wonderful humans. This is why, after nearly 2 decades of teaching, of seeing children, little children, hungry children, abused, neglected, if in the one day I was in the classroom with them and I could make their lives brighter, that was my goal, that's what I aimed for. Every child in a classroom should have love. Every child in a classroom should know they are safe. Every child in a classroom shouldn't live between two worlds. Some little humans, oh my gosh, they go home to neglect and abuse and hunger. This is why the billions of dollars currently being spent on the stadium in Tasmania has broken my soul, has made me think, are we entering a dystopian future where little tiny humans don't matter, where children are commodities to be abused and neglected? And it's for these little humans I'll fight. No one has the right to their bodies. No one has the right to mistreat them, keep them hungry, abuse them. And I will promote Zoe Australia. I will fundraise. I will do everything I can, because the dirty, ugly reality exists in here, in this tiny little stage of 600,000 people, that there is the most abhorrent horrors, the most horrific, the most unconscionable terror and fear is being inflicted on little Aussie kids, on Tasmanian children. And we have a government, we have a world that, yes, we're all struggling with postnatal, so I keep saying that, post-traumatic distress, PTDS, for after COVID. And the research now, we're reflecting back half a decade, and it's showing us, now look at this, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted, this little human, just the most beautiful little people. And you just want their world to be bright and fun and clean. And what truly breaks my soul is, and what, in all my years and all my horrors and, oh gosh, the endless positivities, like look at all this beautiful keepsakes. I was at a school with a food program. This is going back quite a while, maybe, I don't know even how long, but years ago. And for weeks, kids who came from families where family members were murdered for drug deals, who came from, you name it, neglect, abuse, hunger, distress. And what we fail to realize is we are organic creatures. Our emotions, how I'm communicating to you now, how you're receiving my information is via organic matter. And this organic matter starts off small. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that small? This organic matter starts off small. We all start off as atoms, well, we all start off as compost. But nutrition, food. Tasmania markets itself globally. And this is where I'm someone who was born in Melbourne, but I moved here, and here is my home, and I'm a Tasmanian, and I'll die here. But I'm so losing track of what I'm trying to say. Nutrition, I'm distracted by looking at the pictures. Nutrition, we're all organic entities. It's like, do you pour paint into the engine of a Lamborghini? No, we need the best fuel. And you'll look at children at disadvantaged, poor schools, government-funded schools. They're starving, they're malnourished, their heights, they're short. You go to a private school and everyone's lovely and healthy and happy and big and strong. So what broke my soul was, getting back to that, this 2-week hot meal food program, and for kids that have not experienced sitting with cutlery or at a table or having a warm, quiet, clean space to digest food. They're not listening to screaming. It was so instantly life-changing. These little humans had decent food. They had a lovely time at school. Everything improved. Everything progressed. Within 2 weeks, it was gold. You could see change. And the saddest thing, I knew it was a trial, it was going to end, so I made sure I brought food in on the Monday. This little one came up to me and I told her my belly button, eyes, yeah, what are we having for lunch? And I'm like, sorry, darling, hon, I have to give you my lunch, some food from B. They're not doing it. It was just a practice, and we talked about what a practice is. And now we have a government, and you can look into the eyes of a child. I'd like Mr. Rockcliffe to do that personally, but I think he's AI generated. I don't know if there's any humanity there at all. But we've lost politicians now. My disgust is so deep, it's like bile in my throat. Like, I was raised a staunch Labour child, and believed Bob Hawke when he said I believed Bob Hawke when he said, no child will live in poverty, and there was always a truth to that. But to have the current Prime Minister, who the novelty of your squeaky little voice wears off after 2 minutes, get some voice and speech coaching, please. You represent us to the world. To support the stadium. He supported the stadium, the current Labour government, this current Liberal government. But I'm sorry, I'm so off track. But again, what truly broke my soul for all, and you would think there's no depth to depravity, but there's things that just get worse and worse. But this little girl just wanted a hot meal, just wanted to be at school, and please insert your own expletives. Our current government, well, the government back then didn't carry it on, obviously, but the current government will spend unlimited billions. We'll spend unlimited billions while children in schools don't get a meal every day, while children are hungry and homeless and abused. And in a population of 600,000, billions could wipe that out. Oh my God, imagine being world leaders. You have to sell politics to morons. But yes, a little house. We all need a home. Every child deserves a home. Every child deserves a roof over their head. You're the best teacher ever in the world. Yeah, I know teachers misspelled. Oh, you little humans, look at the beautiful love and energy And we are not cherishing that. We have now become a state where nepotism, corruption, and pure, unbridled greed is ruling the world. We are now a tourist attraction. We have a new shiny big building. Come and look at it. Come and eat in our cafes. Come and spend time in Hobart Town. Sorry, some facetious, but it's bloody disgusting. For the child, I'd like, a politician to go visit a child cowering in a car, say, nowhere in particular, but say, for example, in Burnie, with a homeless, instantly homeless because mum's been beaten and broken just too many times, sitting in a stranger's car they've broken into, no food, cold. This is reality. This is reality, and it's an ugly, dirty reality, and we don't want that. We want shiny new buildings. No, not on my watch anymore. Not at the criminal level of legal mispenditure. Like, how can you possibly justify when everything's in crisis down here, like housing, homes, education? It is so oh, excuse me, coughing. It is so much a blatant theft from the rich to the poor, and taxpayers' money, my money, your money. We will work hard for it, and will not have another cent of my money in the pockets of a rich person. Oh, look at this, to Miss Arnold. For you, for all, your best teacher in the world. I love you as a teacher. If this humbles me beyond words. I walk into a classroom for them. I walk into a space knowing I'm going to be with a child who's been brutalized, whose physical body's been butchered, and their childhood's gone. And you just give them that love, that time, that care, that energy. I shouldn't have to tearfully play for the rights of children. I shouldn't have to tearfully play that here in Tasmania, again tonight, there will be another hungry, homeless child. I'm hoping to make all of these into a book. I guess if you put them on the internet, they're all just available. I've tried to blank out names, but I think some of these beautiful little artists deserve their recognition. Look at that, isn't that stunning? And the memories, you just have the best memories of being with little people. But again, I have to walk away from teaching because of the nepotism. The sad fact is, when I moved here 13 years ago, there was no equity or clarity of process in the employment of teachers. So Melbourne and nationally for decades, well, not decades, we haven't had computers that long, but you would have a position advertised for 2 weeks, a panel at a minimum of 3 would interview you, and you would have the results made public. But not in Tassie, it's just nepotism. Who knows who? Bob's Muncle's A. Jobs are advertised on Facebook now. That's the professional standards of our education system down here, that we advertise for teachers on Facebook. So I will dedicate myself to children's rights and advocate for the little ones who, oh my gosh, how old's 2018? 8 years ago. I will advocate for little ones, for children in this first world, technologically advanced. Like we need to start fundraising or GoFundMe or just Get Billionaires Money or these coal companies that are not paying tax, buy the internet and rejig it. You know, we have the technology and we have intelligent, brilliant humans, and wipe out, pedophilia and all the horrific things on the internet, make the internet safe, and use it as a tool to track down these people. And I think what I will always say from the depths of my heart is, and having survived myself, and I don't like the word survived, but I have survived, and women of my generation, we survived, we were strong, we fought, we watched our mothers fight incredible battles as feminists, But when it comes to the abuse of children, we can't keep the planet turning. We can't divide the world into the rich and the poor. We can't denigrate equality. What the Tasmanian state government has done is effectively slapped everyone in the face and said, if you're an essential worker in crisis, like a teacher who's been on strike, like a healthcare professional who's been on strike, like a, I don't know what the term is now, office administrator or public servant, you're a slap in the face. You're not worth anything. Your value, your hard work means nothing. We're not going to put billions towards you. We're going to put billions towards a shiny new building for all the rich people to come and scream at things in. And good on them. I love footy. What's wrong with a good primeval scream? But billions of dollars, and this is where, children become adults and we're creating second-class citizens. We are creating, with this economy and this criminal misuse of money, we are creating a community of 600,000 people where there are children who will sleep well, warm-fed, warm-fed and safe tonight. And we have children because they are of little economic worth. They don't go to private schools and don't have a lot of money, and they won't be paying for expensive tickets. So the least economic value in them is to sell them off as a commodity to charities. That's what governments do. They outsource care. But to cripplingly fund charities, to not give them money to build something, to put a roof over someone's head. And the excitement about the Launceston Council, bless them, I don't know if it's the current one, but a homeless organisation, a homeless charity had to liquidate assets they raised because the council wouldn't give them a piddling bit of land to park a truck or a toilet. Now, can you tell me with all clear conscience, if a council isn't focused on housing and homes, what is it focused on? Just piddling events for rich people? It's like the Hunger Games and it's a sad reality, isn't it? People don't want to see ugly or dirty. They want to see shiny and new and bright and beautiful. But we're creating a class of second-class citizens in a generation of Tasmanians indebted. Like the level of spending is criminal, and because of the corruption, because of the nepotism, because of the media control, it's a frightening dictatorship that the truth is not evident, and no one in Tasmania can't be bought or knows someone or lives in fear. It's just dreadful. And it's a socially constricted, isolationist, colonist settling, like the history of the island is one of imperial settlement. 18, oh my God, I always get it wrong because I think of so many dates all the time. 1830s, was it, Tassie settled? But brought colonist England, established the first mental health institution in Australia here. The building is fascinating, but of course that's fallen into decrepitudinal ruin because any government worth its salt would have preserved a building, would have made it a place of healing, would have recognised the atrocities of mental health care. And we've gone from one extreme to the other because, again, we're in a PTSD, post-traumatic stress state of finally coming out of the world experiencing such isolation and fear and drama. So anything seems to go, but it doesn't. There is judicial prudence, there is law, there is the rule of common sense. There at the end of the day, and words are lip service. Actions count. At the end of the day, again, another Tasmanian child, another Aussie child will be hungry and homeless and neglected and abused in Tasmania tonight. And I detracted, I got very off topic, I was going to say. And I myself and I don't, like I said, I don't like the term survivor, but as a person who did not address their own childhood sexual abuse until I was 50, and now at nearly 60 I'm finally able to cope with it, please understand that the trauma, the bringing of children onto this planet to neglect them and denigrate them and label them a second-class citizen in their own Australian country, that they are worth nothing, that billions have to be spent on a shiny new building, that 400 million that we know of, and again I speak of how there is such corruption and misinformation and manipulation of media, and it is a sad and sorry state of affairs. You have the older retiring generations here where there is 50% illiteracy. You have wonderful, hard-working old blokes and Sheilas and people who've just swallowed the party line. And it's just become incomprehensible now. It's not about footy ovals for young'uns, people. It's about the misappropriation of funds and money and a legal duty of care. A government has a legal duty of care to its citizens, and it's not fulfilling it with rhetoric and endless legal contracts. It's fulfilling it with actions, with roads built, with houses built, with hospitals funded to the point that it encourages the world's best. It encourages not whoever can rock up on a Sunday afternoon hungover. You think, I'm working as a relief teacher, you fill the gaps, and you're such a privy stranger in so many different worlds. You just sit and observe. And you see so many different classrooms, you see so many different ways that things are being done. But the one thing that is so evident is that Tasmanian teachers are the best on planet Earth. They work so hard. They are so dedicated. You don't understand the reality of a job where you're in a big busy room with 25 kids maybe, and all of them are malnourished. All of them are abused at home. Some have sexual trauma. Some have physical trauma. And that's just a statistical classroom. I'm pulling up an obscure thing to make a point. No, it's fucking reality. We don't mince words. We don't denigrate human beings and their lives and children and their rights to safety, let alone what's being done to women and men. We're all struggling. We're all hurting. But to take billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to be blackmailed by a corporation, a big, rich, bully boy, footy bloke, footy corporation, And again, tonight in Tasmania, children will be hungry and homeless and abused. Again. $600,000 people. 600,000 people. Billions of dollars. The maths don't add up. So thank you again for indulging me and sharing briefly all this artwork. Self-endorsement, self-promotion. I'll do anything. I'll be at the opening of a letter. I will try and push and promote and be the voice of sanity and reason and be guided by children. Enough Ponzi old blokes standing in buildings going, politics is failing us, governments are failing us. We need to self-politic and we need not to give power to those who are corrupt and abusing it. Power is a given. There are so many types of power. There's authentic power that comes from your biological parents. There's community power, cultural power, the power of your culture. So many things are denigrated. And again, the Indigenous culture, spat on. I'm sorry. I think it's a disgrace. I'm using words politely. But to dump concrete, like how eco-friendly is this build? Where does it accommodate homeless people? Does it provide free water? No, don't be silly. Have a nice, shiny, expensive cafe. All for the tourists. The tourists serve more value than Tasmanian children. So let's all work together really hard, people, and advocate for change and make this a global issue. Promote this worldwide. It's an embarrassment. It's a national state embarrassment. Australian governments have to be held accountable. Thank you, and bye-bye.